how to map controllers that are broken with DJay Pro. I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and I'm going to show you. On comments about people asking me that their controller has a button or a knob that's broken and how do they fix it. And this is a problem that I have dealt with for years, because basically any controller that I find on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or even at garage sales, if it works with DJay Pro, I'll buy it. And some of these controllers, once they get delivered or once I bring them home, I realize that a certain button or a knob or the jog wheels or something about it doesn't work. And if this is the issue that you're having with your controllers, don't throw them out, don't get rid of them, because there is a chance that you can save them. So I just want to talk about how these controllers get damaged and how to avoid that really quick. So if you don't have a broken controller, at least you won't break the ones that you have. So normally with these controllers, the first things that go would be the crossfader or these tempo sliders, because if you take this off, it is on a really thin metal piece. And now if you are, if you're doing a gig and you're done and you're tired and you're packing up your stuff quick and you just throw everything in a bag and things go on top of it, what happens is this piece of metal could be bent. And once it gets bent, it's really hard. Let me just put this back. Once that little piece of metal gets bent, it's really hard to bend it back to being straight. It's almost impossible. And then this is going to affect your crossfader. When you move it, it's not going to register one deck to the other. It's kind of going to be off. So sometimes you'll have it on one deck and then like one little touch will flick it into the other deck. And this could be really annoying, and it can completely ruin your DJ set, because as a DJ, we have to make sure we don't play the wrong deck at the wrong time. So to avoid this issue, what I would recommend is getting a rigid case like this. So the controller goes in here, and then you strap it into these straps, and then it also has a section for the wires. So you put the wires up here, and then you put the controllers in here, and then you close it up. So now if I'm doing a gig and I'm using this controller, all I need is this case and my iPad and obviously speakers and stuff, but all the wires and all the adapters fit in here, and it's rigid. So if something goes on top of it, if a speaker falls on it, somebody steps on it, you sit on it by accident, it'll protect these knobs and these sliders from being damaged. So with that out of the way, let me show you what to do if a button is damaged. So let's just say, for example, on this controller, that this play button is damaged. The button doesn't work. You can't use that button to press play anymore, which is an issue because as a DJ, we have to play the songs. So to map controllers in DJay Pro, what we're going to do is, you see my mouse over here? We're going to go to the middle button here. Then we're going to go to settings. Now we're in our settings. And then if we go down, we will see MIDI devices. Click here and we're on MIDI devices. This is also where you'll be able to find the Bluetooth MIDI controllers. This is not a Bluetooth controller, but if you have a Bluetooth controller, you might go to your iPad settings and try to put it on Bluetooth, but you can't do that. You have to do it with this inside the DJay Pro menu. But anyway, you're going to see the controller. DJ to go to touch. This is one of my favorite controllers. There'll be a link down below if you want to get it. It's way under $100 and it's an awesome controller. So we're going to go to DJ to go to touch. Now you might be wondering, how do I know which button I am mapping? Well, all you have to do is press the button. You press the button and then this comes up. DJ control, deck 1, play and pause. But what happens if we can't use the button? Then we're not going to know. So we could press the other one. So this is note C1, which is deck 2, action, play, pause. But we want to get to deck 1. So we go down here. And then you're just going to have to look through it and find which button it is. But for this one, since the button actually works, we click it. So now this is deck 1 play pause. That button doesn't work. So now what are we going to do? We want to control deck 1 play and pause, but this play button is not working. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a button to make as our play pause button, because this controller gives us these pads, it gives us all these buttons that, and we might be able to live without them, but we can't live without our play pause button, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this number 3 our play pause button. So take note of what it says here. Target deck 1, action, Q3. We want it to be target deck 1, action, play pause. So then we press save, done, and now when we press this button right here, the 3, it's going to be playing our track. You see how it's playing the track over here? And then it's pausing. So now this play button doesn't work. You could put a piece of tape on it or whatever when you're DJing, and then you could put another piece of tape over here and then put like the play symbol so you don't forget. So now we went from a controller that you weren't able to even press play, and now we just moved the button over. So that makes it really easy to just switch the buttons. It's a very simple fit, but some people just, I guess, never think about it, and then they just go, oh, this controller's broken, I don't need it. But now what about the crossfader? This is one of the hardest things to fix. So we'll go back to our MIDI device, DJ to go to touch, and then we're going to do crossfader. So C8 is mixer, crossfader. What we could do if it doesn't work is we could change it and then put it into something that we'll never use. So let's just make it, right now it's the mixer and it controls the crossfader. If we change the target, we could just put it into general, not set, save. So now our crossfader is going to do nothing. So this is an issue that I have with this controller that I got. I got this one. This is one of the first DJay Pro controllers, and I just had to buy it, but I didn't really look at the pictures closely. And then this, it had a missing crossfader, like I told you guys. That metal piece is bent, so every time I touch the crossfader, it goes left deck, right deck, left deck, right deck, and it's really annoying. It makes it almost impossible to DJ. So by doing this and just adding that not selected, we have gotten rid of that. So now when you DJ, you could use alternative ways. Either you could use the crossfader on the screen, which just because you're using a controller, don't forget that you have basically the best controller ever, which is an iPad with a touchscreen. So if the crossfader is not working on the controller, you could turn it off like I just showed you and then use the crossfader on the screen. And then also some DJs don't even use the crossfader and they'll just use the volume faders. So now you could set it to the middle and you don't have to worry about if you touch the crossfader by accident of it going from left to right or giving you inaccurate readings because we turned it off. So this crossfader is doing nothing, and then now we could use our volume faders because the crossfader just changes the volume from left to right. There's a big debate if you should use the crossfader or the volume faders. So if you have a controller with a busted crossfader, then you can use the you could just use the volume faders. So I hope this helped you guys, saved some of your DJ controllers, and then also if you see a controller that you want, but it has one of these missing buttons, now you know how to turn off the buttons, now you know how to switch the buttons, so you could basically fix any type of controller. So if you want to learn more about the best iPad controllers, and then DJay Pro and DJing with the iPad, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like, because I make DJ videos every day.